You are watching Stripped Down.
I don't know, it's just weird. It's like just a part of my routine now. I've every Wednesday night since I was 16 has been committed to Strip Down. Some of us came and dropped off resumes and here we are.
And Brynn, in honor of Valentine's Day, the band is...
We were lovers. It was all just a blur, yeah. Just pretty much hitting all the buttons at once, flicking the lights.
Last week there was a moment and I made an announcement, but the episode went 10 minutes too long, so I had to cut it.
Oh, really?
So one day we'll do a clip show, Brynn and I, and we'll air that part. But anyways, I just want to see you do it because I love the headgear this week. You can do it!
Yay! Guys, Sal Accardo is dead.
You're right. He'd want us to get linguini. You are watching a very special episode of Stripped Down. That's what they used to do in the 90s, right, Jay, on sitcoms?
Oh, yeah.
When they wanted to talk about the issues in the 80s and 90s, they'd say it was a very special episode.
Tune into a very special Stripped Down. Well,
Right?
we'll be discussing
This
drug
week,
addiction.
a very special Blossom. You know, that's kind of what it is. Speaking of Blossom, let's segue over to the one, the only, Miss Brynn Krysa. Gearing up for episode 200, Brynn. I don't know how to start these things. Like, there's been a formula for 200 weeks now. I do my little intro, I throw it to the band, they play, we come back, just cookie cutter, cookie cutter, cookie cutter. But when we do these special episodes where we sit down and talk to the crew, it's really just we make it up as we go along. So, welcome, Brynn.
Yeah.
Now, no one at home get upset. Brynn isn't leaving.
No.
I know this is kind of the formula we have when people leave the show, when our crew that has given us their time and talents for years decide they need to leave the province or city and go to pursue some post-secondary education. We sit them down on the couch and talk about their time at Strip Down. So Brynn is not leaving.
No.
However, we kind of realized we haven't really done a whole lot for you. Your only crime so far on Strip Down, the only reason you don't get as much attention as everyone else is because you never left. And we thought, no, that's not right. As we gear up for episode 200, which is already shot in the bag and in the editing process, I said, you know what? It's time for a Brynn Krysa clip show. You've been here since episode 1. Mm-hmm. And how do you ask the next question? Look back the last 200 episodes. Yeah. Flashback.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 17.
Something like that.
Yeah, just a wee teenager.
With a hat, the toque. Always
Little-
rocking the toque.
Little toque and baggy clothes and...
So you were at school. Which school were you at? With the media college, the media course?
Media school
Media school, there it was.
at Evan Hardy.
And how did you find out about Strip Down? What was like the official day? If we had footage of that, like Jay said, we could dissolve to it. There's
Yeah.
Brynn in her toque,
Yeah.
looking forlorn, sitting at her desk.
Yes. And then my teacher walks in and says that there's a Shaw TV program that's wanting to start up that features local bands and musicians. And then everyone's ears like perked up and everyone ran over to Shaw with their little demo reels and handed them into you. And then it was kind of like everyone just sat there with their fingers crossed hoping that they'd get onto the show.
And we took a big chunk of you.
Yeah.
I can't find your demo reel. I don't know what happened to it. I did a good job of keeping most of them, but I do not have a Brynn Krysa demo reel.
Of course not.
Of course, I don't know.
I think it's been strategically erased.
Maybe.
Strategically.
Maybe I needed a coaster one day. I don't know, but it's not there. It's not in the stack with the rest. So I was a little upset when I was trying to find some old Brynn Krysa clips.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I just remember back then there was like the Gingerbread Man skit, and Jenna Giacomelli was in the like CSI parody. And
yeah.
Arms Up had a
Oh,
little
yeah.
house concert, but I scoured. I didn't find any Brynn. So even back then, were you more kind of behind the scenes?
No. Like
Nope.
I was in that CS high is what we called it. I attempted acting and that it didn't. I'm glad you didn't find it actually, because I don't want to see that again.
Well, I still have a few days to edit this, so maybe I'll go back and insert it. So hopefully you just saw the footage of Brynn flexing her acting muscle. So you got the call, you came here, big group of you.
Yeah.
We kicked it off. Do you remember even before we had our official first episode with Mr. Chris Brinklow, we brought Ryan Bolton from the Deep Dark Woods. It was supposed to be the Rebellion. We had lined up the
really?
Rebellion for episode 1, and Sylvia and Christiane showed up and said, yeah, Josh is in the hospital.
Oh, right.
And Ryan
Yeah.
Bolt was there because he was playing the opening riff from, I think his song was called Mountain back in the day.
I think so. Yeah, it was a Deep Dark Woods song.
Yeah.
Might have been. Or Volcano.
Something
I don't
like
remember.
that. Bum, bum, bum,
Go ask
bum,
the
bum,
internet.
bum. So he played it acoustic, and that's all he was supposed to do, and he was supposed to go home. But then since we didn't have a band, and it was like our practice night, we sat Ryan Bolt down. We did the full 60 minutes with him. And that, no one ever saw that. So the first 16 episodes, I think you were the one that coined season .5. Next season, we're going to do like 35 episodes. That's the goal. We're going to just do one every week except for Christmas. This season, since we got going late, we're only doing 16 episodes. This is episode 16. So for the longest time, I've been calling this season .5 or .05, and everyone's been scratching their heads at me like I was crazy. But I think that's because I was calling it season .05, and Catherine, one of our volunteers, was like, that's not half, man. That's a fraction or something. So I felt really stupid after she told me that. So what do we want to call this, everybody? Is this officially season 1? Season 1, Brynn?
I'd say 0.5 actually.
Thank you.
She's feeling the point
Brynn
5.
has my back.
Half the season, so
So you and I are smart and everyone else can't figure it out, Brynn? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, there it is. This right here is the final episode of season .5.
Well,
Which I kind of backed you to a corner and blamed on you for forever.
yeah, you're kind of like, hey, Brynn, what do you think of this? And I was like, sure. And then you're like, ha, it's all on you.
Yeah. And then from then till now, I've been like, yeah, and what the hell was that? We had a season .5. What were you thinking, Brynn? But we really didn't know. That's where I'm going with this. We didn't know what we were doing for the first 16, 17
Absolutely.
episodes.
No.
And it was fun having that energy with everybody as well, because Jay and I didn't know what we were doing. You guys didn't know what you were doing. Do you remember what the atmosphere was like back then, though? Like, you kids, obviously you went home after and talked about it. You're probably texting,
Oh, yeah.
OMG, K, what was that?
Yeah.
Irma Gerd.
We were
That
on
Curtis has
MSN.
no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think everyone was just excited and happy to be working in the media environment because we were going to school for it, and then we're kind of like, just thought it was so cool that we were in the studio and working with music and cameras. And yeah, it was also exciting and fresh and new.
Yeah, and I suppose you could tell at the beginning that Curtis and I didn't really know what we were doing. Was that incredibly evident?
Did we a good job of hiding it?
I'm sure if I relived it, it'd probably be obvious. But at the time, we were probably like under the impression that you guys knew what you were doing, so we were like looking up to you, like,
All right.
what do we do next?
No.
Pulled it off.
Not even close. Well, I hope not looking up to us was something that stayed constant throughout our entire
yeah,
6-year
no,
run at
totally.
Strip Down, because I don't fancy myself a role model for the young kids in any way, shape, or form.
No, I learned that right away. So it's
We
all
are, this is kind of a clip show, kind of a looking back episode. I know we didn't do a whole lot of pre-planning. That's where, you edit and post, right? So
Typical
are there
Strip Down.
any episodes in the first 16, season 0.5 as you called it, that stick out? Any particular moment you want to show the viewers? I can remember the first, I think, one-on-one conversation we ever had. I totally remember this. It was probably like the 4th or 5th episode. And I was running around trying to get everything back on track because like a million things went wrong. And we did the, trying to go past each other in the hallway. And then you're like, you don't even know my name, do you? And I was like, chances are you're probably some form of Jen, because there's a Jen and a Jenna, but totally. And then I was just,
Wow.
and I went home that night and learned everybody's name. True story. You called me on. I might not know anybody's name to this day, but you called me on it, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's so confrontational. That's not
I know,
And
right?
I never
Brynn
really
at
liked
all.
that. Wow, I was a sassy 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Ooh, dang.
So the first 16, 17 episodes, I mean, you're looking at Steve McGuire, The Rebellion, the first time we plugged in, Earl Pereira,
Ultimate Power Duo.
Ultimate Power Duo. What was it like sitting back as a young bassist watching Earl Pereira do his thing?
I was just like, pretty much all the musicians that came through, because like all through high school, I was really into the local music scene. Back then, they would have like 16+ shows, and I would sneak into those when I was like 15 and stuff. But even when I turned 16, I was still really into the local scene. And then just seeing all these musicians come through, I knew like who they all were, and like what projects they were involved in. So sometimes I was kind of like starstruck in a way. I remember like Tim Vaughn came in once and he did an acoustic set, and I was just like, Tim Vaughn's in the studio, oh my gosh. But then now I see Tim, I'm just like, hey Tim. So yeah, I don't know, it's interesting.
Well, when the page turned a couple years ago, and you were on stage with Young Benjamins or Pirate Fridays, do you think the new kids were like, it's Brynn Krysa, Young Benjamins?
Probably not.
I was kind of like that. And it was funny to watch your evolution in the last 6 years where, you kind of came out of your shell a little bit. Because, other than that confrontational moment in the hallway, you pretty much kept quiet and kept in the background and worked really incredibly hard. The few times I'd put you on camera, you did it, but you kind of did it begrudgingly. You didn't seem like you were you were like, yeah, okay, I'll be on camera, I'll model a shirt or whatever. But you weren't the first one with your hand up like some of the people on crew that were like, oh yeah, no, for sure, I'll be on TV, which was kind of fun to bring you on sometimes. I mean, of course, we're going to see the clip of Spider G at some point in this hour, but going back, we should probably throw to the first one. What else? Kim Fontaine, Jay Semko in the first. I feel like we should do something from the early times. So any moment of the first season 0.5 you think we should that sticks out in your mind? Teresa Sakerka, remember her?
Yeah, I remember that was
there.
another one who came through the studio, and I was all like stoked that she was here. She's on Canadian Idol.
Right?
Yeah. So how about that one?
Some Teresa?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get in the old time machine and
No doubt.
see Teresa Sakerka.
Sit back the
Episode
dial,
what?
6 years.
Episode 9 maybe? Episode 8?
Something
I'll
like
have to
that,
look it
yeah.
up. I'm kind of proud of myself that I don't know this anymore. Because for about the first 100, I was like on top of it. I could be like, oh yeah, that was episode 88. And that kind of lost its cool after a while. I was like, I probably know a little bit. I've studied these numbers a little too hard. So go back to 2008, Teresa Sakerka. This I believe was her last Saskatoon performance before she moved to Montreal.
Yeah.
So pat on our back. We had a giant T, remember?
Yeah, that
We
was
had a
cool.
giant wooden T. It looked kind of like a cross, maybe a little confusing, but it was like life size.
I was scared it was going to fall down and hurt somebody.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
Mainly Teresa Sakerka.
Yeah.
She needs no introduction, but she's getting one anyway. The best part of Stripped Down for me is the positive feedback I get from the artists and the community. And it's one thing when someone comes up to me on the street and tells me they're a big fan of Stripped Down, but it's something else altogether when someone comes up to me on the street, tells me they're a big fan of Stripped Down, and it's Teresa Sakerka. Ladies and gentlemen, Teresa Sakerka.
I wonder if I cheated all the things that have been mistreated in your life. I just planted a view that could have been quite slanted. How can I win? You travel more than me and have seen so many things I've seen and so much more. I realize I never really knew about you anymore. And you're waiting by the door, and I can see from a mile away your roots have thorns. Waiting by the door. I'll probably never be to as many places I've seen in my mind. And I know that if I sit here and grin, then maybe it'll be alright. Though I know my story will go well with all your glory, I feel it just the same. I realize I never really knew about that anyway. And you're waiting by the door, and I can see from a mile away your roots have thorns. Waiting by the door, and I can see from a mile away your roots have thorns. Waiting by the door.
The following sponsors are proud to support community television. The Hairstyle Inn, located in both Lawson Heights and Circle and Center Mall. Long and McQuaid at 721 43rd Street East, and their phone number is 664-1966. Mr. Sicily Pizza in their new location at 833 51st Street. Their phone number is 975-0345. Curtis Anderson's wardrobe is provided by Ultimo Yuramoto, located in downtown Saskatoon, 664-6640.
We're back in the studio with Strip Down's one and only Brynn Krysa. You swung by Mr. Sicily Pizza. You always get kind of left out in the post-pizza party after every episode. Of course, we are sponsored by Mr. Sicily Pizza, who feeds us after every show. And after every show, Brynn Krysa sadly looks through the pizza and says, "Oh, where's my 2 slices of pepperoni?"
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't know that those are Brynn Krysa's pepperoni slices, they're gone. And then you sit there while everyone else eats our spicy ranchero pizza and our meat lovers pizza, and like the cheese, you stand alone.
Yeah, I know. I'm just boring. But
Well, so
you
we
know.
got you a don't judge Brynn by her culinary choices.
No.
Please don't.
We got you a full pepperoni pizza as a surprise, and
Well, thank you. I need to go grocery shopping, so now I can
Now you
delay
don't.
that. Yeah.
I mean, you
Sweet.
can probably live off that for a few days.
Yeah.
You and your roommate
Easy.
Vero,
Yep.
which was someone that you met doing the show.
There we go.
Yep.
Yep.
Was it really? You
Yeah.
honestly met for the first time on the show?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how we met, and then I saw her out occasionally at gigs and stuff, and then her and Nusha approached me and were like, "Do you want to be in Young Benjamins?" So I said yes, and then now we're actually roommates too.
And then the next progression was moving in.
Yep.
Strip down, making connections. That's what we do.
Her solo episode was one we don't really ever really go back and look at for
Yeah.
whatever reason. And she's a talented young lady. I mean,
She's
she
very
has
talented.
a signed solo career,
Yes.
and
yeah.
yeah, just kind of, I don't know, she needs to be louder or something.
Yeah, I know she's been working on some stuff. She's been in the studio, so, keep your ear to the ground. She'll be rising again.
Is she gonna bring back her punky hair?
I don't think so. I think she's growing it out. She's
okay.
stoked. She can put it in a ponytail now,
Ah.
so.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
Salute. But obviously just one of the many kind of, I hate using the word networking because it sounds like you've got this agenda, where I hope you don't come with just an agenda. Like I hope the only reason you came wasn't just to meet other musicians and further your musical career. I think you had fun along the way.
Oh,
But,
yeah, totally.
what are some other instances of where, you did actually network? Because the only time you weren't here for more than obviously you missed the odd week here or there, but the only stretch I can remember you not being here is when you were on tour. Like you got picked up by the Kardashians and you were gone. You were going across Canada, and it was crazy
Yeah.
because we were doing a music show, and then suddenly Brynn wasn't there because her musical career took her across Canada as a fill-in for this other band, and it was just kind of an exciting time.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I don't know. Well, I guess Tim Vaughn is an example. I ended up taking some bass lessons from him. And I don't know. I think there's just there's a lot of musicians I've heard of or I've seen around, and then when they're on the show, that gives me an opportunity to really talk to them and say oh yeah, I've seen you play here and there, and then that builds that connection that you can take outside of the studio and into the music scene.
And they kind of owe you then too, because you've given them a great looking episode. Because
True.
that's another
True.
thing about Brynn Krysa. I mean, you probably talk more about this than I can because I just stand here on my X and ask questions. But she's risen through the ranks quite rapidly,
Oh, absolutely.
and
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of once we start rolling, she's pretty much the technical force
Yeah.
behind the show.
Oh, it's honestly been such a great, I can't remember when exactly what happened, we were around year 3 or year 4, where I could just relax so much more. I could just leave the control room and it's just Brynn's at the controls, I can probably take off for a while and go fix something in the studio, and it's gonna be fine while I'm gone. And that was just so much easier on me now. And these days, sometimes I don't think you even have to show up anymore. I think you got it. It's just so fantastic.
Yeah, really. If we could wire your audio into the studio, I wouldn't even have to show up either. You could just you could direct the cameras and switch and ask the questions. It could be a one-woman show. I mean, even you look back at this last weekend, and we're jumping time here, but we went out to Regina, shot episode 200 with your friends Indigo Joseph in the Access Communication studio, and I don't think we were there all Saturday, Jay and I, setting up, getting everything technically ready. And then Sunday, once we started rolling, a million things went wrong. There was kind of a collision of we were using half of our gear and half of their gear, and there's a lot of stuff that we just couldn't see coming, like Laura's jib shot. After she did it twice, the camera kind of came loose. She had to keep tightening the camera, and just so many things. The handheld camera kept getting unplugged.
Turning off, yeah.
So Jay was actually in the studio, putting out these fires behind the scenes, and wasn't really in the control room at all. That was all you. And that's something I didn't even realize till I got back and I was watching. And I mean, there's times where the second song, we didn't have handheld at all. You were working with 2 cameras, and basically it was you and Lauren Davis making, and I didn't even realize till after we were done, you were directing the heck out of it. And it was how do we not just how does every episode not end in hugs? Wow, you just, you're literally doing the job of 5 people sometimes. And I hope we haven't come to just expect it, Because it was never a point where that was going on. I was going, I hope Brynn's okay. I was just like, man, Brynn's probably working really hard, So I'm just standing there off, waiting for the song to finish. I was like, yeah, Brynn's probably got this. So thank you for that, I guess.
Well, you're welcome. And to be honest, I didn't even think about it. I just, if there's something I need to do, I'll just do it. Jay hands me the headset, I'll just be like, all right, here we go.
Something I've never asked you, again, we're all over the place here, but why the bass? How many years have we been together? And we know you've played bass. We've watched you get better and better. And we were always like, that's so cool. You were doing it back at a time where there weren't too many female bassists. Not that there's, an overabundance of them now. But what actually got you started on the bass back in the day?
Ukulele club in grade 7. We didn't have recorders at my elementary school. We had ukuleles. And then my teacher would let us rotate through playing double bass on songs. And then when it was my turn to play double bass for a song, I just fell in love with it. So started on double bass and did like youth orchestra and all that, and then picked up bass guitar in high school. And yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah. If I enjoy it, why not stick to it?
And you even stuck here when all your friends left over the course of the last few years. I mean, you can see the jerseys over your shoulder of the fallen crew.
Yeah.
There's Jennifer Jubas and Jenna Giacomelli, kind of the first
Can't really
couple
see it
to
in these
leave.
shots, but they're in there.
They're in
Trust
there.
us.
We kind of Jay's great idea today was make the set half and half.
Oh yeah.
So we've got half of the new set where Jay and I are, and you're kind of sitting in the retro set, Brynn.
Right. And
Vintage.
then this is the new side over here.
Wow. All sorts of explanations. Looks great.
There's so much subtext in this episode.
The
It's
people at
crazy.
home are just, their minds are blowing. They're trying so hard to turn the commentary track off, but they can't. They're like, show a clip of Tim Vaughn. And we probably should.
Oh yeah, totally.
Another episode that we don't really talk about, but it's phenomenal. We had Tim Vaughn on our show. Back when we didn't really know what we were doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Vaughn, episode, I'm going to say 29. I don't know.
Dickety too.
They're all labeled on Facebook. If you care that much, go find the number. Boom.
Did you say dickety too?
Yeah.
That's from The Simpsons.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Vaughn.
Look between the silver lines, up the trees. I don't mind trying this out for you, if you ask me to. I'll look high and I'll look low, tell you anything you like to know. It's not where we've been, but where we go. So let me lay you down, let me lay you down, let me lie there next to you and dream until the morning, through the night, through bad and good, we'll be alright if we just let go of what we think we know. If you want to set the bar, I'll jump with you through the stars and back again to where we began. So let me lay you down, let me lay you down,
following sponsors are proud to support community television. The Hairstyle Inn, located in both Lawson Heights and Circle and Center Mall. Long & McQuaid at 721 43rd Street East, and their phone number is 664-1966. Mr. Sicily Pizza in their new location at 833 51st Street. Their phone number is 975-0345.
Having a little fun during the commercial break there. We should give big props to Alexa,
Absolutely.
who came in this afternoon to switch this. Also another friend of yours. Someone
Yes.
from the new crew who you befriended.
Yes.
It's just this big friendship circle here in Strip Down. and,
yes.
You know. But during the commercial break, she was doing all this crazy switching in a rapid pace. Wilbur's back! And little would she know that there was a couple instances where we, just took the reins off and let you switch. One episode in particular, you broke the switcher. We were going,
That was 911 Turbo. Yeah.
yeah. We broke the switcher. Brynn Krysa broke a piece of equipment that decides which shot to take next. You're watching the Laura Churchman and Curtis Anderson 2011 birthday special. I think we're out of time. My God. So you're just kind of like, "Argh!"
Yeah.
And then something broke. And, I don't think you're really known for your strength. So
No. So I was
the fact
proud
that
of
you
that. Yeah.
tore the, what is that called? The slider? The
fader?
The fader.
The
there it
fader,
is.
yeah. It's a big handle.
I'm glad you know,
almost like
Brynn.
the
It's
throttle.
not like I work in the industry or anything.
Yeah, it's like the throttle on a jet engine. It's this big camera 1, camera 2, camera 1.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm flying a plane with the headset on. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
yeah.
Strip down. It's a lot like flying a plane.
Yep.
Really? No.
Actually, I want to get back
Without
into
the free peanuts.
Yeah.
You want to get back to
I want to
that?
get back into the switcher and using the switcher because it's something that Strip Down does different than, like, say, legit television. I think you've been
Yeah.
on some of the mobiles, well,
Yeah.
proper television.
Yeah.
That there's actually a guy that stands around and says, camera 1, camera 2, and the person at the switcher just listens and just pokes the button as what's told them. But Strip Down, we always kind of wanted to do it different. We wanted to say, like, okay, the person who's at the controls is listening to the music and switch on the beat and can actually add some artistic flair to it and is not just simply listening for some other guy waiting for what to do. And that is something you excelled at incredibly. That just like not only knowing, I mean, your musical headspace, knowing, okay, this is probably going to be a bass line coming up or this is going to be a chorus, and you kind of steer the cameras to it. It's just phenomenal. I love the fact too that, I mean, again, with most legit television, it's all about the superstars and it's all about let's see their face as they're pretending that their notes hurt or whatever, right? But Strip Down is a lot more. Yeah. This is what happens when you get me out talking. Right? But I think it's Stripped Down. I think we're known a lot for our instrumental close-ups, for like you can really see that finger, you can see that bass string vibrating, and that is almost all you. You're right in there, and you're definitely paying more attention to the music than to the personalities while the music is going on. So I definitely thank you for that. I think that not only did you pioneer that, but I think that other people, as they come up through Strip Down, are watching that and trying to emulate it as well. So
Definitely.
I didn't know that.
Well,
Oh,
and
cool.
it knocked me out of, again, just knocked me for a loop after you left on Sunday, which is another thing we should probably discuss, how you took your own car to Regina because you wanted to be part of episode 200, and you were literally 2 minutes away from being late for a gig back in Saskatoon.
Like
you hung
literally
on
2 minutes.
to the very end. You left Regina at like 3:40, and we're back in Saskatoon at 6 to play a gig with the Young Benjamins, and wow, like is thank you enough for that? Like, we really wanted you to be part of episode 200, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
and I want to be there. So.
yeah, but that just, I don't know. But anyways, after you left, you ran out the door as soon as we yelled cut. The one gentleman that works for Access Communications that's not familiar with the show, right, just started going off about how, like, he couldn't believe how you had it down pat. Like, he just was like, and then, again, just explaining what we take for granted. he's like, she'd tell him to zoom in, and as she was zooming in, rack the focus so it goes blurry just when she dissolved to a different shot, which was blurry, and then it would pull out and it would go and focus. And I was like, yeah, that's what she does every week. But yeah, I kind of take that for granted.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So having somebody on the outside just go crazy was kind of a nice slap in the back of the head that made me realize how much actual talent you bring to the show each week. So yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Cute balloon drop.
Yay! You want to play a clip of Vero?
Yeah.
You want to do that instead of playing a clip of one of your bands?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, let's show some Vero and then maybe talk about the times you've taken the stage, Brynn Krysa.
Okay, Curtis
All
Anderson.
right?
All
Is that
right.
okay with you, Jay Neufeld?
I'm all in.
Gonna go to the wide shot, Alexa? Awesome! See? We're all on a first name basis
Wow, look at this.
Let's blow it up.
here. Look at that. Look how white that pizza box looks. You're not supposed to wear white or have a lot of white on set. And look,
But you can white balance with that.
face. We can superimpose something in there.
Should we flip the lid on that pizza box for the next ones? Or?
Sure. We should have a piece of pizza.
You call me by surprise, giving me all of your best lies. You told me that it was okay to be afraid, to find a light that would one day fade. And now I'm stuck, giving up on you. And now I'm stuck, giving up on you. Now I'm stuck, giving up on you. I'm stuck. Yeah. I'm tired of having to evacuate, and I'm fired up on the firm belief that it's never too late to put my foot down on the floor and leave this place through the back door, 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 and leave this place. I'm stronger than I was before. It's taken me this long, but now I'm sure that I'm stronger than I was before. It's taken me this long, but now I'm really sure that life is what you make it, and life shows you how to take it. My gut tells me to forget you, and that's exactly what I know will do. What I now will do, what I now will do. Oh, I'm stronger than I was before. It's taken me this long, but now I'm sure that I'm stronger than I was before. It's taken me this long, but now I'm really sure that they do they do they are the da oh they do they are do they are the da oh they are they are they are they are they are
The following sponsors are proud to support community television. The Hairstyle Inn, located in both Lawson Heights and Circle and Center Mall. Long & McQuaid at 721 43rd Street East, and their phone number is 664-1966. Mr. Sicily Pizza in their new location at 833 51st Street. Their phone number is 975-0345.
Brynn Krysa laughing at my countdown. But you know what? Like, this isn't a prop. This is real pizza. I'm sorry, Brynn. Like, I feel bad.
Wow, we're legit here on Strip
Mr.
Down.
Mr. Sicily offered up a pizza in honor of Brynn Krysa, who apparently just stopped at the McDonald's on the way here or something because she's not hungry. So I'm going to have some pizza. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
Episode 50, episode 99.
What about them?
Pirate Fridays times 2, Young Benjamins. Also, you were in the 130s as well as a whole different evolution of Pirate Fridays, but you step away from behind the camera, take the stage. Discuss!
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of different. It's hot underneath these lights. That kind of sucks, but it's fun, you know?
Yeah, I think it's probably the last 3 years you've kind of made the control room your home, eh?
Yeah, I'm kind of like a little hermit in there. Like seeing the lights, I'm like, what is this?
Well, tell me what it's like. Tell me about that other world that Curtis never sees. Curtis is usually out here, and he just hears the camera people sometimes giggling on their headsets, sometimes a bit too much. But what's the atmosphere like in the control room?
Do I want to know?
Eat your pizza.
It's terrifying to me. Half the time I imagine everything in there on fire. And there are weeks where I dread looking at the footage the next day, but it's never bad. I don't know what's going on. I just all of a sudden hear, oh no, oh no, and I just kind of, I don't want to be insulting and run back there because I know you guys can handle it, so I just stand there and smile, and I've got Joker laughter going on in my head somewhere. I'm just like, okay, it'll work out. I cut you off. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think it's pretty relaxed in the control room. We can have some nice conversations with people on cameras, which is entertaining sometimes. But I don't know. To be honest, I don't really pay attention to it. I'm more so focused on watching the cameras and doing my job. That's what I do.
Yeah, again, to pull back the curtain a bit, really what happens is you've got 3 little black and white monitors that sort of show you what each of the 3 cameras are up to. And you got to voice a talkie thing. Say, camera 2, I need a shot of bass. Camera 3, can you get me some drummer? And basically you guide all the shots and you tee up the shots. And sometimes you're making art. Sometimes you're like, put this guy over here, put this guy over there, and then we'll fade slowly through. And I don't know, it's a hell of a thing, and you work it well.
Thanks. It's really fun. I love doing it. I love setting up the shots and creating art, so to speak. But it's also working with the it's a whole crew. I can't take full credit for it. It's everyone involved.
Unfortunately, no offense to Jay, some of my favorite Brynn Krysa moments don't involve Jay. The 2 times this last season he was gone, and it was just you and I.
Yeah.
And I don't think, if there's one thing wrong with Stripped Down, I don't think the public realizes how much Jay Neufeld does behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
This 80% of the show is Jay, yet I probably get 80% of the credit just because I'm on air, so let that be a lesson to you at home. If you're thinking about being the technical person or the on-air person, be the on-air person, you get all the credit. Anyways, the more you know.
It's true.
So there were 2 weeks Jay wasn't there, and the first week Jay set everything up. So we basically just had to slide on, do everything like usual, and go home, and it was perfect. And the next week, Jay wasn't there. It was about a month later. He was like, okay, well, I'm going to get everything ready. And I was like, relax. It was a cakewalk last time. We got this. And oh my God, Brynn.
Yeah, oh my God.
That was one of the most, it was fun, but it was intense. But there was never even under those dire situations where nothing was working, graphics weren't working, lights weren't working, it was never hostile. We were still laughing about it. We were like, oh man, there's no lights this episode. Okay, well, what are we going to do? And we just set up different lights, and I don't know. I really like that because it's still a pressure that I think a lot of people wouldn't have rolled with, Someone was just like, well, just call Jay. That's what some of the people were saying. We'll just call Jay. And I was like, no, he's in Australia or something. He's in Peru. I don't know. So I really admired that too, where you're just like, no, let's get her done. And you just kind of worked around it. Because that's what Brynn says. That's her catchphrase.
Yeah.
Get her done, Brynn.
Yeah.
That's, if I had $1 every time you said that. The other time was the Oh Wells. I actually signed my book contract on TV.
Yeah.
I didn't use it in the episode, but I really wanted to share that moment with everybody. And so
Yeah.
I called you out. And it's I love watching it because I'm so scattered and everything's going on. It was such a weird episode, but I was like, no, I have to do it tonight. I'm going to sign my book contract and fax it off after the show. And so that was kind of a cool moment. Before we say goodbye, Brynn, get out here. Not that I really want to talk about me too much, but I want to have a moment here. Right in front, Brynn. You're just holding.
Okay, cool.
Again, this has really nothing to do with Stripped Down, but I wanted to share this moment with everybody. You may or may not know, 5 years ago I wrote a book, shopped it around for 3. I got sent a contract, and I wanted to sign it on air, because you guys have been, completely inspiring to me these last 5 years, and have kind of, kept me going. And whenever life really sucked, I knew I could come in on Wednesday nights, and I'd always have so much fun, and you guys just gave me so much inspiration. It's including you, Jay Neufeld, who's in the control room. Just really wanted to thank you guys so much again for the inspiration and keeping me going. So after 5 years, I'm going to sign this. I have this in my pocket. Saturday night when I was
Really?
when I was partying at the Pirate Friday show, which is of course Brynn and some other people's band here, Dan and Dylan. So I want to do this on TV. Thank you guys so much. And with this, my journey ends, and I'm officially an author. That's a terrible signature, I hope but that's a legit contract. A lawyer went over that. And you're
I didn't really know what was going on at
No.
first, but you know, I'm glad I was a part of it.
I didn't know what was going on either, but it's just there's a really funny chemistry between you and I, because I don't even know what I'm saying, and you know this is serious, so you're treating it like it's serious, but you can tell you have no idea what I'm talking about for the first minute, because I am just this mental mess, and you're like,
This is special somehow.
So I don't know, what's another clip?
Spider G. We should play Spider G.
Right.
Have we done that yet?
No, we haven't. Thank you.
That's, I mean, if you're gonna recall a Brynn Krysa moment from Stripped Down, that's the one.
I looked so comfortable on camera.
Yeah.
That's just great.
I'm surprised you didn't release that as the video for the song.
Yeah.
You should have.
Yeah.
I think you're a little too classy to be in a Spider G video.
Thanks.
So to set the stage, we had Spider G.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice man from Regina.
Yeah, awesome dude.
Came down, did some rapping, did some hip hop,
Some hip hopping.
some rapping and some hip hopping, and then said, "This is one of the songs I usually sing to the ladies." And I'm sure you must have just been like, "Oh God, no."
Yeah,
Because I think you were the only girl here that week, and I was
No,
like,
I remember.
light bulb above the old head. I was like, okay, let's get our one girl out then, and you can sing to Brynn Krysa.
Well, no, it was Amanda was on camera as well, and you and Amanda kind of just threw me under the bus because I remember Amanda and I like made eye contact, and she just like pointed at me, and then yeah.
In Amanda's defense, she may have been the only girl in the world who would have been more awkward than you.
You know, I don't know. I think she could have pulled it off better.
I don't know.
Actually, she can probably dance much better than I
don't
tried.
know.
Oh yeah, you didn't even know there's gonna be dancing involved.
Yeah.
Nobody did.
No, nobody knew what to expect. And that was one of probably my top 10 favorite moments, because there was just such an energy. Like, you talk about engaging television, and that was it, because nobody knew what to do. Like, I've never seen everybody, from the person doing lights to the floor director, that was just like leaning forward like, this is a moment here. I have no idea how this is going to end or where it's going to go, but this guy's singing a Brynn. Now he's got her up and they're dancing, and he's very inappropriate at parts, and you're just rolling with it. So yes, watch it a million times. Record this part and rewind it and watch it over and show your grandkids.
No.
Brynn Krysa and Spider G.
It's my ladies' song.
Nice.
Normally in a live audience situation, I try to bring someone up on stage and serenade them. Do we have any volunteers?
Well, we've got two females here. Brynn or Amanda? Brynn. grab the camera, Dylan.
Would you?
Yeah, Brynn's coming on set.
Yeah?
Let's do a switch up. Live TV, ladies and gentlemen.
This is gonna be fun.
This right here is a stripped down moment. Let's take it away. Spider G.
I'm gonna get you to have a scene. You gotta get close up to this one. See, there we go.
Thinking about the ways, thinking about the day, thinking about the night and just how long you'll stay. Thinking about the mood, thinking about the smooth touch of your lips on my running cool. Thinking about the sweat and you say not yet. We don't go to sleep till the next day sunset. I've been thinking about just you, what I would do. I would go crazy if I'm not loving you. It was a day I'll remember, the tropical rain in November. I just got in the cafe to shelter. She was behind me, so much wetter. I offered my jacket and my kerchief, and the smile she gave made me think of mischief. The next thing she told me was her name and sign. I said to her, you good looking and so divine. A day like this does not come in twos, but someone like you, miss, I cannot refuse. But don't get confused, this is not luck or coincidence. You beautiful angel in my presence. I wanna be proper, but I can't help it. You make me tingle, I just cannot sit. The next thing you know is I reach for her hand, asking if she wanted to take the next dance. I've been thinking about the way, thinking about the day, thinking about the night and just how long you'll stay. Thinking about the mood, thinking about the smooth touch of your lips on my running cool. Thinking about the sweat and you say not yet. We don't go to sleep till the next day sunset. I've been thinking about just you, what I would do. I would go crazy if I'm not loving you. The dance floor, it feels so perfect. You hold on to me while holding my kerchief. I'm feeling the feeling that you feel it too. I whisper it softly. Can you feel it, boo? My heart skips a beat to say the next line. Say the right thing, take you home to be mine. I whisper the words softly in your ear, and your answer was yes, it was loud and clear. So I made up my mind to take the time out and appreciate, cause you never know when your number gon' call upstate. And never been this hard before, so I started off right. Sit down, let's talk it over, boo. Show me how to be tight with you. Shocked by the action, she takes a seat. Remote down, TV off, and snuggle with me through the door. First thing it said is, how was your day? Smooch a room, kissables, you never wait. Thinking about the way, thinking about the way, thinking about the night, thinking about the mood, thinking about the smooth touch of your lips on my running cool. Thinking about the sweat, you say not yet. We don't go to sleep till the next day sunset. I've been thinking about just you, what I would do. I would go crazy if I'm not loving you. Thinking about the way, thinking about the day, thinking about the night and just how long you'll stay. Thinking about the mood, thinking about the smooth touch of your lips on my running cool. Thank you. Give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. She's a great sport. Great sport.
To say that knocked the crew out for a loop was quite the understatement. Ladies and gentlemen, Brynn Krysa, good sport. She had no idea that was going to happen. I had no idea that was going to happen. If we could have turned the cameras around and showed the rest of the crew while that was going on, priceless moment. All right, I gotta hydrate and take a commercial break here.
Curtis Anderson's wardrobe is provided by Ultimo Yuramoto, located in downtown Saskatoon, 664-6640.
And we're back. We're wrapping up our Clips Show feat. Brynn Krysa, that's what you do with musicians, right? They feat.
Yeah.
Strip down feat.
Yeah.
Brynn Krysa. Brynn, of course, has been here since day one, 2008. 200 episodes officially under her belt, if you wore a belt.
I'm wearing one, but
We are weeks away from airing our 200th episode. What we did was we tore down the studio, took everything and the crew to Access Communications, the cable company in Regina, set up there. They let us use their studio. We did the Regina band, Indigo Joseph, of course, friends of Brynn and a bunch of other people on the crew, like Dylan. Some technical difficulties that you pushed through. Mm-hmm. And it really, just as soon as we yelled cut, it was this just big stress ball. I finally appreciated 200 episodes. And I got to, again, really think about and appreciate the people behind it. And you have been obviously, no, I'm going to say you've been the most important person since we started this, like easily. You've stuck it out. You know, sometimes maybe you weren't appreciated enough, and I apologize for that. But, you know, looking back, I can't even remember what you used to really do when Tessa was switching. You were probably just on camera, floor directing again, working hard and never complaining, never being like, I want to do something more. And here we are 6 years later, and you're running the show. So I personally couldn't have asked for a better third. You know, this is kind of like the stripped down triangle. Really, that's, you know, we've been keeping it going for 200 episodes. People have come and people have gone, but we're still here making it. Jay, say something before I get emotional.
Thank you so much. It's just, it was impossible if you guys didn't buy in, and you guys bought in, and you helped us. I mean, we gave it to you in a sense that we thought, let's not try and be cool, because we're not cool. We're thinking, what are the kids like? Let's try and let them figure out what's cool.
Yeah.
And you took it. You never once felt made us feel like we were old and stupid. It all felt like it was just a big team. So thank you.
No, thanks for all your hard work, Brynn.
Yeah.
So we got you something.
Oh yeah.
And big thanks to Alexa again. She was kind of instrumental. This was one of the longest days, but we got it done. So I hope you open it the right way a bit.
Oh.
On behalf of Jay and I, thank you so much for 200 episodes, Brynn.
Thank you. Ooh.
It's a zebra. It's a dead zebra.
Oh.
Yeah, how out of the comfort zone is that?
Oh my gosh.
Hold it up so the TV can see it.
Which team? Oh, that one?
We went to Ultimo Uramoto, the clothing sponsor, with Barry, and we explained Brynn, and they know you because you work around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I do.
So we wanted to get something nice, and he picked this out. We had Alexa try it on, and then you'll notice the back stitching.
Oh, no way.
A great big
Wow.
200.
Cool.
That's not a cheap jacket, so treat it nicely, please.
Don't get it.
So don't spill beer on it or something?
No, don't rub it. Don't rub it in the
Okay.
pizza.
You do whatever you want with it.
We
Cool.
probably spent longer on that than we do most gifts because you kind of have a style, and he was asking all these questions. I was like, I don't know. Don't women's clothes come in small, medium, and large as well? She's probably a small, and people at Ultimo were like, oh.
Oh.
All right, baby steps here. But I was like, I don't know. She's Brynn.
Did someone come to Jake's and scope me out
I
through
think
the
so.
window?
Yeah.
I think they may have taken a bunch of pictures.
That
and
guy with the tape measure?
create-
That's from us.
Oh.
Well
I thought it was
done.
just another weird fan, but I guess not. Okay.
We should probably end with a Brynn clip, though.
Maybe, since we put so much effort into it, how about a song from 199 with Young Benjamins?
Throw to it, Brynn. Thanks for watching, everybody. Here's Young Benjamins and...
Let's argue.
argue.
Yay! Episode 200 coming up in a few weeks. Check your local listings.
Well, hold them close, my dear love. Hold them near for all the people you betrayed from the mess that you made. When you're down and out, the world takes you in. You've got no one to fight. Let's argue tonight. Oh, he was so obsessed with the way that you dressed and the way your hair lay and the mountains that you made and the love you create. When you're down and out, the world takes you in. You've got no one to fight. Let's argue tonight. This is the dark like a river that tunnels your heart. Fractures the past like a mountain and cuts to the ground. You've got no one to hold. You've got no one to ground.
not the best.
You can do it!
His personal appearance is not the best.